Well, today's video is sponsored by Black Gold Compost Company. We want to thank the good people over at Black Gold for their generous donation of all this black cow manure that we're using in our video today. Thank you for sponsoring our channel. Well, good morning, Homestead family. Today's video is on a new eggplant that I wanted to try and share this variety with you. It's called Chinese String. We'll be right back. Well, welcome back, friends. I just got my seeds in the little seed starting cups and they are ready to go. But I wanted to share with you this, this new eggplant that we're trying this year. It's called Chinese String. What attracted me to this particular variety of eggplant is that it can be eaten raw. And I was thinking, wow, I've never eaten eggplant raw. But this is supposed to be a very sweet variety. I got this, this pack of seeds from Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds. So if you want to try out this eggplant this year, go to Baker Creek and check out their website. They got a lot of cool, rare, unusual seeds on there. They're great people to work with. And they have a high quality product. So go check them out and see if you see something you like. But these eggplant are really cool looking. They're kind of small, a small diameter. They get about 10 or 15 inches long. They have a lavender a lavender skin with a snow white flesh in it. And they're very crisp and small diameter. You can chop these up in a salad, or you can put them in a stir fry, or you can do whatever you want to do with them. I talked to Nancy about this and she said, absolutely get some of them things. I think I got some cool recipes I'd like to try that in. So I said, yes, ma'am. So we got the seeds started today. I'm going to get them into the seed starting rack and get them germinating, and then we'll be back in the days ahead and we'll get these things started in some containers. This can be grown in containers or in the earth bed. We particularly like to use the container buckets, 5-gallon buckets, because they're easy to handle. I don't need a whole lot of these. They're very prolific producers. So I'm just going to need, 4 or 5 buckets, and that way we have plenty to share with Nancy's mama and friends and neighbors and the soup kitchen, or whoever wants eggplant. We should have plenty of eggplant. The plants should be actually grown out in full sun, and only takes about 75 days or so for this to harvest. This definitely don't want to put this out before the last frost. They're not hardy. So wait for your last frost to pass by and then go ahead and get your seeds started and get them rolling. So let me put this over here in the seed starter rack and we can call this one officially started. Well, there we go, off and running. We'll be back in the days ahead as soon as this starts to germinate. We'll get them hardened off and we'll get these things in the containers. So be back soon. Well, good morning, friends. It's been just about a month since we planted our Chinese string eggplant in these little seed starting cups. And as you can see, they're in the cup, they're only about 2 inches tall. So last week I took them out, and I'm trying to get 5 plants, remember? So I took out 5 of them and I stepped them up into these 6-inch cups. See the difference that it made just in a couple of weeks by transplanting them out. So I stepped them up and I got them exposed to a little bit of bone meal and blood meal in the new cup here. And as you can see, they've started to show some traction. So we'll be back in, I'd say I'm gonna give these probably at least another week or so. I want the temperatures to get warm, because the reason that these plants struggle so much in these little starter cups, and I had to step them up, is because we had 2 unseasonably cold snaps that came through here this spring. And one of them actually gave us a pretty strong frost. So it's very unusual to get that in April. So here in Florida anyway. But anyway, they've had a little bit of a challenge with the cooler temperatures, because of eggplant, you know, they like warm temperatures. So anyway, I think we're getting through it. The temperatures are starting to climb now. I'm getting into the 80s every day, and upper 50s at night. So, you know, we're getting there. We're coming into summer. Had a slow warm up this spring, unusual for here in Florida. Usually it just pops from cold to hot all at once, but this year it kind of strung out a little longer. But anyway, that's okay. We took steps to avoid a disaster by just simply stepping them up. And on that night where it was real cold, you know, I took all the plants and took them into the to our 4-week pantry over there where they were inside, and I brought them out, you know, the next afternoon after the danger of the frost was gone. So be a little proactive when you see those cold fronts coming through. But anyway, our plants are doing well. I want them to get a little bit bigger. I've got like 3 of them that are kind of straggling behind. I want them to catch up a little bit, and we'll get these over into 5-gallon buckets, and we'll put them right over there on the grow table and let them grow, because I'm looking forward to seeing what these Chinese string eggplant taste like. We'll see you soon. Well, welcome back, friends. Our eggplants had kind of a real hard start this spring, but I think we rescued them and pulled them through when we stepped them up. It's been 43 days since we started these from seed, and we stepped them up, you know, not too long ago, and today they've got some true leaves on them, and they look like, to me, some healthy specimens that are just about ready to be transplanted and stepped up again into the 5-gallon buckets. It's where they will remain the remainder of their life. So what I did is I've already gone out and mixed up the soil, my container soil. I do that just like I've always done. We've got videos on our channel on how I mix this stuff up. If you want to check those out, go check it out. We've also got several videos on our channel on how to grow eggplant, and we're doing it identical to those same videos that we've already done. But today's video, I just wanted to, you know, share with you this brand new eggplant that we've never had before, Chinese string. So we're growing that today. We're going to get it over into the 5-gallon buckets. I've already put my container mix in here. I've already amended the soil with bone meal and blood meal, and I pre-soaked the buckets, and they are now ready to insert the little plants, and we'll get these over on the grow table and let these things get started. So I thought we'd plant these things together. Let's get going. Okay, this is pretty easy. These plants are much bigger. They're in the little 6-inch cups, so they're much bigger than the seedlings that we normally plant. So I'm going to have to dig out a much larger hole. What I do is I just set that soil right up on the side of the pot, on the side of the bucket. And it digs a pretty good hole. And at this point, I'm ready to amend it. I put in about 3 tablespoons of bone meal. I'm doing that because I want it to, that phosphorus to help produce a lot of root growth as well as beautiful blooms. And I'm also adding in the blood meal to push the foliage growth. That way we'll have an overall healthy plant all the way through. And this stuff will last about 3 months or so. So I most likely will not have to refertilize this again. if it does start to look kind of sluggish and slow, the only thing I usually do with eggplant is I'll come back just before they start to put on the blooms. If I see the buds appearing and it looks kind of a little bit on the weak side, I'll just hit it with a dose of fish emulsion, and that will give it a little bit of a bump, just enough to get it going. What I do now is I just add a little bit more soil in here. I just want to get that soil level back up because I just got through packing it down, as you saw me do. There we go. Now the plant is installed, and we'll take these plants over to our 5-gallon bucket grow table, and we'll take it to the next step. Okay, we got our buckets over here on the grow table, and the next step is I like to use these bamboo canes, and you can get these in the old ware in any nursery. You can go online and find them. If you can't find them nowhere, we got these on our Amazon link on the back of our channel. But what I do with these is I make a triangle pattern around the stem of that plant. And the reason I do that is that plant is going to be subjected to winds, rains, and eventually some heavy fruits when it gets heavily laden. And I want to give it a little bit of support to support that plant as it's growing. The last thing that I do is I put in one of these little cheap tomato cages. I put it in at the time that I plant it, so that the plant itself can grow into the cage instead of trying to come back and put it on later as an afterthought. You just tear your plant up. But now that plant has got plenty of support to continue to grow in the cage, and as the fruit gets on it, it can hang out, and the bamboo stakes as well as the little tomato cage will support it. The last step in today's process is, once we have it staked with the bamboo stakes, canes, and then we put in the little tomato cage, is I just lightly water, and I go around the plant as much as I possibly can. Try not to get the leaves wet if at all possible. It's not the end of the world if you do, but I just try not to. But that right there will be enough for that plant to get going. And we'll be back in the days ahead, and we'll keep our eye on these. We've got a couple of them here that look like to be runts of the litter, and then a couple that are really nice. But I think now that they're out here in this beautiful sunshine and the temperatures are coming on the increase now, these eggplants should thrive. So we'll be back in the days ahead, and we'll watch these eggplants as they continue to grow. We'll see you soon. Well, welcome back, friends. Our Chinese string eggplant's been growing for 8 weeks today. It's been 2 weeks since the last time we spoke, and we had just transplanted these out into the buckets. And if you'll remember, these three right here, they were just little runts, and they have just popped right on up. And the two on the end, they were the bigger ones, and they're all pretty much about the same size at this point. So they've really adapted well going into the stepped up into the 5-gallon buckets. They just needed to get some leg room. So they're all doing really well now. We'll be watching the development of these plants, these beautiful plants, in the days ahead. They don't show any signs of any kind of buds appearing yet, but they will. And what I am seeing is some really great stem structure and foliage development, and that's really a good sign. There's good color all through the stem and the leaves as well, so we should have plenty of fruits off of this stand of little Chinese string eggplant. So we'll be back in a couple, 2 or 3 more weeks, and we'll take another look at where we're at and our little journey on these unique looking little eggplant. We'll see you then. Well, good morning, friends, and welcome back. Our Chinese string eggplants have been growing for about 11 weeks today. They're really doing beautiful. The plants have really made some giant progress, giant strides in the last week or two. The warmer weather has hit and the blooms have started to appear and open up, which is always a good indication that you're fixing to get yourself some fruit. So these Chinese eggplants are starting to produce now. You will see in the short days ahead, these will start to produce the little fruit that we can take a look at and check out and taste them. So these are off and running. They're doing really good, and we'll be back in just a few weeks here, and we'll harvest some of this stuff and take it over to the harvester and clean it up, and we'll do a little taste test, and I'm sure Miss Nancy will get involved with that part. So we'll be back very soon. See you then.
Go, Beady. Come on. Do to the side. All right.
Well, welcome back, friends. Been about 3 months since we started this Chinese string eggplant from seed, and it's been kind of a fun journey. Looking forward to it because we've never eaten these before, and from everything that Baker Creek catalog was telling us, that these are supposed to be the sweetest eggplants ever. So if they're sweet, I'm all for it, because you know,
You're sweet.
Yeah, they're not as sweet as me, are they? Nah, I'm a sweet boy.
Good boy.
Anyway, all sweetness aside, the eggplants are produced, and they've made some beautiful little string eggplants. So let's grab some of these up for lunch and go over here and clean them up in the harvest area and take a look at them up close. And then we'll head on in and do the old taste test.
I got a special recipe for it.
Oh, good. Okay. Let's get started.
All right.
Well, they sure turned out pretty, didn't they?
They're gorgeous. I'm going to look forward to cooking them and eating them.
Oh, me too. I worked up quite an appetite out there cultivating the garden. Had to clean all the corn out from last week, and so had to get it all weeded and cultivated and set. But that worked up a little bit of a hunger pain on me.
Okay.
So you about ready to head on into the kitchen and put this on the menu? Well, I sure thank y'all for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this journey of growing this Chinese string eggplant together, and I hope that it brought a little smile to your face and a little joy to your day. And so now we want to invite you to come on in the house, and Miss Nancy's going to jump in the kitchen and whip us up something delicious for lunch, and we'll do a taste test on this beautiful Chinese string eggplant.
Yeah.
Let's head on in. That is absolutely beautiful. You've done a great job.
Yeah.
That's a nice looking lunch, man.
Yeah, I mean, it turned out perfect with that a special type of eggplants, and it's supposed to be super sweet, and the tomatoes and everything is just wonderful from the garden.
It looks good. I tell you what, you could probably take an old shoe and make it taste good.
No, it's your beautiful vegetables. That's what makes it good.
Well, I plant the seed, God takes it from there. But anyway, I can't wait to do a taste test on this new string eggplant. So let's thank the Lord for this and let's dig in. By his hands we are fed. Give us, Lord, our daily bread. Amen. Oh.
Yeah. And the collard greens from our garden too that we froze.
Here you go.
Everything except for the chicken, and we're working on that.
Yeah.
The corn's turned out beautiful.
Some good old corn. Pretty sweet. Okay.
That's enough for me.
Wowzers. It stays a pretty color even after you cook it. It's still very purple.
This is good.
Let's check this out.
Wow, it's really buttery and sweet. It has got a good taste.
That is a very good tasting eggplant. That literally melts in your mouth right there.
It does, doesn't it? Oh my gosh.
Very good.
That is so good.
Bravo. Keep up the good work, Nancy.